Hello and welcome to another episode of Living Free with Dan. As always, the goal is to use our stories to change narratives. Today, I am joined by a brave man, the son to a prominent Nigerian politician. My guest gained international recognition after coming out as gay on social media, and he's since inspired the world with his bravery, platforms, and activism. Without further ado, I'm Daniel, your host, and I'm living free with Bolu Okupe. Thank you, Bolu, for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
All right, how have you been? Quick question. Do you speak Yoruba?
I understand Yoruba. Because obviously I grew up around people speaking it. So if you are speaking Yoruba, I would understand what you're saying. But just because I haven't had much practice actually speaking it, it's hard for me to actually formulate sentences. But I do understand Yoruba.
All right. Okay. Quick one. Shoti Jonale.
Not yet. No.
Okay. You're right. Okay. Good.
I was joking. I understand what you're saying.
All right. So the question I asked my guest, it's been in a pandemic. How have you been? Have you been coping? It's been crazy.
To be honest, the pandemic obviously hasn't been easy for everybody involved, because it's really hard on your mental health. I'm somebody who lives alone. So obviously, like living alone, not being able to see your friends as often as you would like it does kind of take its toll on you. But I think one advantage to me is that I'm actually an introvert by nature. So I'm used to like staying alone. I'm used to like being
You're an introvert.
Yeah, I know I don't, because I'm such an exhibitionist online. People may not actually realize, but I'm a huge introvert. Like I'm also a gamer. So even when I had the opportunity to be working from home full time, it was actually like a godsend. So for me, it's been 50-50. I've enjoyed some parts of it, and obviously some other parts, like the social aspects and the mental health aspects of being like isolated, have been difficult. But then also the aspects of getting to sort of like, because as introverts, we enjoy our own time. That's how we recharge. So that's also been good on that end as well. So like I said, it's been about 50-50 for me with the whole pandemic situation.
No, that makes sense. So my partner is an introvert to myself because I'm the opposite. So when this whole thing hits, people like myself were like in depression, but I can't see my friends. And I think for introverts, it was like, okay, this is just another day. I don't want to see people.
Exactly.
But I think at some point it sort of got too much because it's been like a year now. So I'm glad you've been coping. But you came out recently.
I did, yes, in a very, very eye-catching Instagram post on the 20th of January as Gay AF, I did.
I guess what was running through your mind? Like, what were you thinking?
Okay, so let me even just take you guys back a bit, because I did post that picture on the 20th of January. So let me just even take you guys a little bit back before that, because even if yes, people may have seen that as like a coming out post, like it wasn't honestly really a coming out, because honestly, anybody who knew me in my personal life knows that I've never really been in the closet. Like I'm always when the world was open, I've always been at the gay clubs on weekends. I've always been doing this and doing that. Like even on my YouTube channel, I have some videos dating back to 2019 where I'd been discussing some LGBT content. So I've never really been super like in the closet. I think I just never really publicly declared on any platform that yes, I am a gay man. And even when I took those photos, like it wasn't even supposed to be a coming out shoot or anything. Like I was there's a gay photographer that I usually work with. In fact, most of the pictures you see on my page, he's the one who took them. He's a friend photographer. So I already had the pride shorts, the rainbow shorts, and for me, like those shorts were snatched. They were doing the thing. So I was like, let's get this in front of the studio. And then he just happened to have the pride flag and all. So we just took it. The pictures came out nice. But I feel like they came out nice. And I posted it with because I'm also somebody who posts, like, if anybody who has seen my Instagram page, I post very like outrageous or provocative captions. So that's also why I just made that caption. And I guess the whole situation snowballed into what it snowballed into. But yeah, so as just to piggyback and answer your question, what was going through my mind? I can't really say it was anything like different, because like I've always been this kind of like bold, audacious person who does things like that.
Right. So sorry to cut you. I guess the question would now be the caption, right? Because you've been living openly, right? Before the whole thing blew. So have you been using gay in your captions? Do you know what I mean? Because maybe that was the new thing. That was what was different.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's what I'm saying. I think that's the first time I actually publicly stated on any platform that, yes, I am a gay man. I think the first blog to pick it up was, I don't know if it was either Instablog or Linda Ikeji. I feel like once one of the first Nigerian blogs picked it up, then it became a whirlwind, as you could have probably you've all seen. But yeah.
Yeah, and that must have been overwhelming. And talk to me about that experience. I mean, I'm sure you may have gotten some support, right? But being on Instablog as a gay person is not the nicest of experiences. I mean, the comments.
Definitely, it was very overwhelming. I'm not even gonna tell you a lie, because me personally, I'm somebody who has thick skin. I have very thick skin, so all this kind of like comments and stuff, they don't really bother me. But like honestly, that whole situation was very overwhelming, because even when I came out, like before, because now I don't know if you look at my Instagram, I don't actually have that many pictures and videos, and that's because I've kind of cleaned it up. Because before I used to have like a lot of very, very raunchy, like salacious, quite sexual content on my Instagram. So I've now obviously moved all of that over to my OnlyFans. But yeah, so I used to have a lot of pictures like that. And I remember like there was one popular news agency, sorry, news website, I think it's Pulse or something, that made a compilation of my pictures and stuff, and they were now circulating it. Like I think the video had 500,000 views, and Nigerians were leaving comments, and you can imagine the kind of comments like Nigerians would be making, this and that. So, and even after that, like everything I kept saying or doing would like be on some headlines. So honestly, it was really, really overwhelming. I'm not even gonna like to pretend like I was fine. It was really overwhelming, but I still kept true to myself. I still kept doing my thing. People were calling me saying, "Oh, please delete your page, private your page." But the thing is, for me, right, I didn't want to give no MF the satisfaction of like thinking like your comments or whatever like made me go and like delete my Instagram page or private page. So like no, I was still posting what I want to post, still doing my TikToks,
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I honestly feel like I handled it as best as I could,
Yeah.
given the severity of the situation.
No, well done. Again, even though you're still human, you've still got your mental health, but again, that resilience to know what drives you. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't you're not doing it for clout, like it's who you are. So viral or not, you're still being you. And
Exactly,
speaking
and
of
that's all I
TikTok,
can be.
and speaking of TikTok, I mean the video about stealing someone's man. Sorry. We are not going to address.
I had to give it to them because they wanted something, so here you go.
All right. So I was going to talk about your dad. Yes, that was it, right? Because I think what really fueled the whole thing, right? I mean, you coming out again, the blogs capitalizing on politicians' song, any headline to make it juicy for them, blah blah blah. But I think him now responding blew the whole thing. Did you see that coming?
No, I didn't. I was even quite shocked at some of the comments made, especially when he said I think he made some comments alluding to the fact that he's always known, because obviously me and him had never discussed it. So but no, but I mean I have my own assessments as to why that is the case. Maybe we can get into that later on. But yeah, so I was quite surprised, but I wasn't really I wasn't angry or shocked or disappointed at his statement, because I understand that he's, like you said, he's a politician. He's quite very well known in Nigeria, and he's also a very staunch Christian. He's somebody who was seen on many platforms when they introduced the anti-LGBT bill, when he was working with the president. He was seen on many platforms defending this bill and opposing homosexuality, making anti-LGBT sentiments. So I'm not surprised he took that stance. I think a lot of it was to appease his base of people, who whatever. And honestly, like I feel like his response, like I'm just being very honest, like for a Nigerian or African Christian parent, I feel like what he said was actually not that bad. Like I'm not trying to like justify or defend homophobia, but I'm just saying like I feel like it wasn't as as toxic as what usually the kind of African parents would say. I think he even ended up in his messages with like some positivity or whatever. So yeah, I was quite taken aback, but yeah.
I see what you mean, Bolu. Like two things can be true, right? We can say the response was homophobic, whilst also saying it wasn't as bad. You know what I mean? And I get the whole typical "I'm going to disown you" like.
Yeah, that wasn't. He didn't express those sentiments, Yeah, so for me, that's progress.
No, I agree, because like when I came out, that was the expectation. You get to this level where you're ready to lose your family, kind of thing.
Yeah, because in the back of your mind, this can happen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he came out saying "I'm going to pray for you," it's still not good enough, but it's not.
No, it wasn't. No, because that's adding fuel to the fire. That's giving the homophobes extra energy to say or do whatever they want to say. I mean, even on my coming out post, I had to remove the comments. I've now put it back, and they're still there going off. Like how many months later, they're still there type.
Well, I guess so. You made that post. I don't think you expected it to go viral. Like when these things happen, we don't prepare. I'm
Definitely
assuming.
not. No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
And then he saw it. Did he reach out to you, or was it a case of you didn't tell me you're going to post? I'm not going to tell you I'm posting mine. That kind of thing.
I can't really speak for him if that's
Okay.
what that was on his mind. But no, he didn't reach out to me before I saw his statement. In fact, we honestly after that whole thing, we did have a phone call conversation maybe a few weeks after the whole thing had blown over. We did have a conversation, and it was very positive and supportive. I mean, he even ended the phone call with saying something like, I hope God, blesses you and takes you to wherever you need to be, which I thought was really nice of him to say. But no, like I didn't know that he would make a statement. Didn't reach out to me. I would have liked if he did, but things I can't even really say it was like, oh, you didn't reach out to me. I didn't reach out because for me, I wasn't. I was just posting. If you check my Instagram, I'm just that kind of person who's posting these kind of stuff. So for me, it was just another day posting another cute picture, doing my thing. I'm sorry, but that's really what it was. I didn't expect that. Instablog carry it, and not even just Instablog. It was going viral internationally. In different like some people were sending me the article in Chinese or in Dubai. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I get it. Like it's a very catchy headline. Homophobic politician's son comes out, and obviously the picture. So I get all the elements that made it such a firestorm. I get it, but no, that was like could have never have dreamed that it would go that far. For me, I just took a nice picture. I look good. I'm a bodybuilder. My muscles are popping. And I just posted it. So yeah.
Um, quick one before we wrap up. Because I don't want this to be about your dad. I kind of, it's you I'm interviewing, right? But lastly, because I think some of the stuff going around was, you know, this guy supported the anti-LGBT blah 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 laws, and now his son is gay, and some
Yes.
sort of God has punished him. Like, I'm sure you heard that. Someone in the middle of that. Do you know what I mean? What was that like for you? Because you're the one having to deal with that experience.
Yes, that's a popular narrative I kept seeing people often say, like, okay, well, he's so anti-LGBT homophobic. Now look, your son came out. Like, now what? And I get it, people feel like it's karma, whatever, but I feel like, for me, I find that sentiment a bit ridiculous. And I found it quite shocking coming from educated people who are saying things like, yeah, this is your revenge. How can somebody's sexuality be like just like for me, like I remember there was one famous actress who said something similar to that. I'm not gonna say her name because I'm not trying to be in any beef. And she's somebody who's supposed to be a psychologist or sociologist or something like that. She made a statement saying, yeah, you see, God is blessing all the politicians, whatever, now their children's will be embarrassing them with this and that. I'm like, you're supposed to be a social worker, or whatever, and you're thinking someone's sexuality. You're actually publicly condoning homophobia by saying someone's sexuality is an embarrassment. Like, seriously. So for me, that was a bit like odd. But no, I'm not gonna say I understand. I get that in Nigeria there's still this very backwards culture where people it's homosexual things when it comes to homosexuality and the LGBT stuff. It's still very taboo. People don't really openly discuss it that much. So people still see that some kind of like shame or whatever. So like obviously I understand that these people are running with it. Like it's something to be ashamed about. So people who maybe have their gripes with him or gripes with politicians in general will obviously use that and be like, well, you see now your son is whatever. Yeah, I saw many comments like that. But as for me personally, just because I understand how ignorant people are, and none of it ever got to me. I think with life, as long as you know who you are, you can't let all this noise, ever affect you.
Yeah. No, makes sense. What would you say the best and worst of that experience was for you?
The worst experience for me, was, it obviously wasn't because I live in France, right? I'm away from all of that like commotion. But I felt a bit bad for some of my immediate family members who are over there, like my mother, my brother, who are over there. They're also very like strong Christians, they may be going to church and people you know how Nigeria is. People will be making comments, looking at them funny. So for me, like that was the worst experience because you never want to like ever feel like something that is a result of your actions is affecting the people you love in a negative way. And obviously that should never be the case. Somebody being open about themselves or choosing to love themselves, accept themselves, and be proud of who they are, that should never affect anybody in a negative way. But obviously, we don't all live in the 21st century. There are a lot of people in Nigeria who are in the 17th century still stuck. And obviously, yeah, they will have those sentiments. So I did. I would say that was the worst part of it. I felt bad for them having to be there. People probably obviously because they can't get to me, they'll be calling them. Oh, what your son?
Yeah.
You know how they are. people always have something to say, especially the family members who you haven't spoken to in years, waking up thinking they have an opinion, get out of here. But but I'll say the best experience for me was I honestly understand the positive effect that it had, because trust me, I had thousands of emails, messages, DMs from not even just Nigerians, queer Africans, whatever, on the whole, telling me how like motivated, inspired they were. Like I know the positive effect that it had, and I know. Trust me, I have all the evidence, written evidence of it. That's why for me, honestly, I would honestly do it all over again, because like I feel like unintentionally, like it made me some kind of like gay role model or gay whatever. And I think that's just because in Africa you don't really have men who really proudly accept themselves on that nature, and especially like somebody maybe I guess we can say of a certain political class or whatever. It's pretty much unheard of. So I kind of understand why that was thrust onto me. But I know the positive impact it had. Trust me, I know. Like I read all the messages from people. So for me that was I would say that was the best part of it. Just having to have such a positive impact on other people's lives. There was even a boy who I'm gonna be done after this. There's a boy who reached out to me saying he was suicidal until like he saw my picture and all of that. So, yeah, I'll do it over. I'll do it all over again.
No, yeah,
If I could.
yeah, I agree. Visibility gives powerful validation and representation. I think that's what it is.
It's very important representation,
Yeah.
like you said.
I was gonna ask you, which of your pictures did that boy see?
No, just no the viral picture of my coming out, because he was saying to me like how he's struggling in life and his family kicked him out because he's like because you have gay men of the whole spectrum. None is better than the other. You have some feminine, some in the middle, some masculine. I think he's of the very effeminate spectrum. So obviously people can obviously tell he's gay. And I think he was having issues at home with his family, and they were just very abusive. And he said he was a few days away from taking his life, but he said when he saw my picture like going viral, and like me owning it proudly, it gave him the strength to sort of like carry on, to know that there's nothing wrong with him. But obviously, everybody in that sort of atmosphere, especially like in the less privileged atmosphere, they will make you feel like something is wrong with you. And it's really tough. It's really like some of those stories moved me to tears. Go ahead.
And I think it's why I'm so passionate about this show, right? The validation it gives people. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Growing up, I didn't see myself anywhere thinking being queer was okay.
Yeah.
And everything else around me was negative. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's that message of validation in someone in Ghana or anywhere else to say you may be in a country where you can't be physically free, but you have to be free in your mind. And you said that earlier. It's here, isn't it? Like
It starts in your mind. Yeah.
yeah. Quick one though, because something I struggled with was again coming out and because no African homes and shame and this whole thing, right? They want to just keep it hush hush. You can be queer, but don't let people know, which in itself is perpetuating homophobia, right? Because you think being queer is bad.
It's something to be ashamed of, something you have to hide.
Exactly. Yeah. So how has your family dealt with the visibility now? Because it's not a case of you coming in and then you're back. Like you're here, you're going bigger. You've only started. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know they would have to struggle with that because they would keep seeing your stories pop up everywhere. Is that a conversation you've had?
Without going too much into like the personal family issues, it's been very difficult. Yes, it's been actually honestly very difficult because like you said, it's now to a point where like if I say something controversial, it ends up on the blogs the next day. So like, and obviously they're saying all these things, their friends are saying these things, they're whatever, people associated with them. So yes, that's something that's been very difficult. But for me, it's like anything I'm doing or saying on social media, except my thirst traps, I'm only trying to honestly like speak. I'm only trying to spread a positive message. There's nothing I'm saying or doing that's negative. I'm only trying to spread positivity, bring awareness, bring visibility. Because when it comes to things like this, there's really a lack of visual representation for Black African queer folks. Even when you look at queer media, first of all, number one, most of them are tend to be when you talk about hyper. Let's even talk about gay men who are like at the top of the game, like the celebrities, most of them are all whites. And even the ones who are Black, like let's say the Todrick Halls, the RuPauls, the Billy Porters, they're more of maybe, and this is not to say there's anything wrong with them. I'm just saying like they're more of the more effeminate scale. So there's lack of visibility for maybe other like different kinds of queer folks. So, I feel like that's just one of the reasons why I'm just trying my best to just promote this kind of visibility. There's many Black gay men. There's many Black gay men who are masculine, who are whatever, like, so for me, it's like I know that what I'm doing eventually will have some kind of positive impact. So I feel like when it comes to things like this, and this is what somebody said to me, when it comes to like situations or movements like this, unfortunately, there are always going to be casualties. Unfortunately, there are always going to be casualties. And I'm not saying like anybody is sacrificing, but just because I know what kind of positive impact it's having, like I just can't let anything really stop me. I feel like I'm not saying anybody appointed me to be like some superhero or savior or be an advocate, but I'm just doing my bit and I'm doing my best and I'm doing my part. That's all I can do. It's definitely like very, very hard for some people in my family, who are very close to me and who may suffer the brunt of the consequences because I'm from a very, very happy religious family. My brother is a pastor. My mom also, she's really into Christianity and stuff. I don't consider myself a Christian, but that's a different topic. But yeah, so it's hard, but like I said before, it's like you just have to make sure you balance it out. Like I said, yeah.
Yeah, no, I listen, relatable. Like especially with my mom. I'm not going to speak for other moms. It's I think again because this is you, right? And you're not passionate
Exactly.
about it. You have the lived experience. So and because you know what it's like to feel isolated, you kind of don't want anyone to feel that way. So that's what drives the whole thing.
Yeah, because I've been through it. I've been through it. I've been through it all. I've been through that phase of struggling with it. I've been through that phase of escaping and coping with other substances. So if I can have a positive impact on somebody who's younger and let them avoid that, I will obviously always do it. Like I will. Yeah.
But even that being said, I think another level of self-love is even not feeling guilty for. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes we tend to prioritize their feelings over our experiences. And I was saying earlier today because the only time our parents have to deal with that shame is when I don't know their friends bring it up in conversations. Like we have to deal with the experiencing homophobia every single day, right? Because sometimes we tend to oversimplify with them and then we forget ourselves. So self-love can also be not feeling guilty. Like now gay we don't keep saying that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm honestly really glad you said that. I honestly don't feel like a lot of African parents are actually homophobic. I mean, definitely there are some, especially the hyper-religious ones, but I feel like a lot of times they're just more concerned about saving face. They're concerned about the image and the family name. So a lot of them probably don't even care. They don't really care that much. It's just, oh, what will people say? What will people think? And I feel like that's actually what bears the brunt of it. So I'm really glad you brought that up because that is very true. I just wanted to highlight that part.
Cool. All right, let's talk about. Of course, we'll be talking about Bolu, but yeah, let's talk about Bolu. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Um, Bold, audacious, and spontaneous, I guess.
Okay, I thought flirty would make the list, but let's move on. Um, dating. How long have you been with your partner?
How long? Okay, so it's okay. I've been with him longer than before I decided to start showcasing it. So I would say maybe since about February. Yeah.
This year,
Yeah, this year.
like officially, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, we met before that, but like we probably made it like official, like okay, we are a couple and together around February, and obviously he didn't come on my page because at some point you just want to like protect who you're seeing from all of that, like all of that firestorm that was going on. It's just you don't want like them being in their business, or the blogs bringing their name and their family into it, like so like that was just obviously on the low until very recently.
Right. Oh no,
I feel like that was the wise thing to do.
no. I say yeah. No, that's good. Yeah, definitely because whilst you may have the thick skin for that, right? Sometimes
Not everybody does. Not
yeah.
everybody does. Yeah.
Yeah, and because they can go and see those comments and they're thinking people are just Jesus, no people are just honestly.
Exactly.
Okay, what's the question? How did you meet him then? How did you meet him?
So we actually met on this is gonna sound very cliche. We met on Tinder.
On Tinder.
Yeah, we met on Tinder. And this is such a cliche story. So we met on Tinder and yeah, because obviously I saw that we have like this similar kind of whatever. So we're just talking and we were like, oh, let's maybe have a gym date one day. We'll go work out together. And yeah, since then it was history.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're looking at him. That's fine. To be sure, is it the guy on your Instagram?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right.
People say we look alike. Is that true?
Yeah, because I think I was telling someone, oh, I'm interviewing Bolu in a few days, and like, oh, he's seen this guy, and someone's like, no, that's his boyfriend. They're friends, that kind of thing. They look alike, so you guys have this.
Yeah, people think we're twins or brothers. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, that's given incest. Like, what the hell?
All right. Fitness. Give us top 3 tips. Especially for those of us who are lazy, we just go to the gym to do the bare minimum and take pictures.
Yeah.
Or have you been consistent during the pandemic? Because gyms were, I don't know, in France, right? Gyms
Yeah,
were.
I've been very consistent. In fact, I think at some point I bought some home workout stuff to be working out at home. But I mean that's very difficult because you need some kind of unnatural motivation to be working out consistently at home. But you said, just to answer your first question, the top 3 tips, I would say the biggest part about fitness is your nutrition. You can go to the gym 7 days a week if you want to. If you're not eating right, you're not eating what you should be eating, you're wasting your time, And that when I say that, I mean like you're getting your macros, your protein, your carbs, your nutrients. So for me, that's the biggest part. And obviously just motivation and consistency. For me, like honestly, people may see like they tell me I have a good physique, but honestly, like I don't do anything special. I work out like everybody works out, and I feel like for me, it's just I'm very consistent with it. I never miss a day. I make sure I'm working out, I'm doing what I need to do, and I make sure I'm eating properly. I feel like a lot of people, they start going to the gym and they don't really maintain the good habits they need to have a decent body, because most people who have great bodies, like I'll say it's really not that hard. People just don't want to put in the work. It's not that hard. Just give yourself 3 months. If you do it properly, you can look like me, better than me, like all these guys you see. Obviously, I mean, there's a limit. If you want to look like those IG guys, you probably have to take drugs to look like them. But yeah, honestly, like it's not actually that hard. Just like discipline, nutrition, and consistency. I would say those are the 3 things you need the
No,
most.
thank you, Bolu, for that. Would you say? I mean, I'm African. I like my amala, and we do parmigiano. So, would you say African meals are helpful to keeping fit? Like,
I'll say yes and no, because obviously there are lots of African meals that can be helpful, especially the healthier ones. But the issue with African meals is that they are very carb heavy, right? And for example, if you're somebody who's bigger and you're trying to shred up and lose a bit of weight, so not even weight, fat, you have to avoid carbs. But if you're eating amala, eba, pounded yam every day, all this yam and all this kind of stuff, yeah, it's definitely not going to help. So I feel like African meals don't help, but you can still eat African meals. But just make sure when you're loading on the carb section, you limit your carbs or divide it by half, and just focus more on the protein. Because there are many bodybuilders in Africa who are doing their thing, and obviously they're eating African food. So yeah, you can still find ways around it.
No, makes sense. And I think also speaking of fitness, I know something you've shared has been some of the critiques you've had around maybe from Nigerians, maybe to assume you sharing your bodies online, that kind of thing. And I don't know if I really retweeted the tweet, but yeah, and then you sort of had to respond to that. What was that about? Are people coming to say?
Yeah, because but obviously I feel like people don't really understand bodybuilder culture. Because for like I'm not even gonna say I'm a professional bodybuilder. It's something I do on the side because I'm passionate about it. But in this kind of culture, our physiques and our body is our selling point. That's our marketing. That's our whatever you call it. That's our selling point. So that's how we make a lot of people make their income from it. So obviously it's always going to be on display. You know what I mean? Like we're not working out to have these physiques to wear clothes. Like it's to show it off. And obviously when you have like very very judgmental kind of societies, oh, why are you always naked? Why, I mean, they call topless naked. Like people, why you always have naked pictures? Why you always this and that? So I'm like, let me tell you something. Like I work out 6 days a week. Do you think I'm gonna work out this much and hide it? You're gonna see it. Like let's be very clear. You're gonna see what I got. So yeah, definitely had a lot of comments like that, a lot of DMs like saying, "Oh, why must you always be naked in every picture? Why must you be this?" I'm like, that like it's my what do you call it? It's my niche. So I'm just
That makes sense. Yeah, and you're not forcing anyone to view as well. So I don't get it need to come on your page. I want to have an opinion. It's
exactly social media. I can always say it's a free space. You don't like something, block, delete, move to where you like.
yeah.
You're not like you say, you're not forced.
Yes, yes. So I know you're in a relationship now, right? But I was going to talk about dating, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Someone who is black with your type of physique, right? And I don't know what France is like. I've not been to France, but I was going to talk about your experience of what I say fetishization, right? Within the LGBT community. I don't know if that's something you want to talk about, or if it's something you've been experiencing. It's fine. I just thought I'll bring that up.
It's definitely something that's I guess you live in the UK.
Yes, I
So I'm
remember.
sure
Yeah.
it's probably the same or even worse in France. Trust me.
Right.
If you're somebody who's black, muscular, and whatever, you definitely will get fetishized by a lot of the LGBT community. And it's not even just white people or white gays; it's all of them. Arabs, Asians,
Objectification.
but everybody will fetishize you, and and I think, and one thing I've realized, it's not even like they're not even really seeing you as like a person. They're just seeing you as like an object, like an addition. Because also understand something. Because I've gotten to know some of these people. A lot of these people who fetishize, they're also like low key kind of racist. You would catch them sometimes making some like certain kind of racist comments and stuff. So and I feel like for me, the way I understand it, I look at it the same way, and I'm just gonna quickly sidetrack. I feel like the people who are hyper racist and the people who fetishize black people or black men, I feel like it comes from the same kind of mentality. It comes from the same part of your brain where they don't actually, both parties don't actually see us as people. They see us as objects or toys. Like, imagine a child. You give a child like two toys. There's one toy he doesn't want to play with, he doesn't like, and there's one toy he wants to play with because he likes. So I feel like they see us as toys. Some of them don't like the toy, some of the others do, but they don't actually see us as people, as humans. So I've definitely had my fair share of that, and that's why these days I'm pretty much dating within my race because I'm not trying to be explaining to you why Black Lives Matter. I'm not trying to be
So
explaining to you
were
why.
you particular with your dating preference then when
But
when you're single? Like you wanted to go with a black guy? Or you were
to
like,
be honest, like I don't really like to say this because people start to call you racist. I'm saying you're close, but yeah, I do. I did was looking for pretty much a black man. Yeah, I don't understand why that's an issue because you have many white men who look for white men too. So
yeah,
why is it a
no,
problem when we want to do it? I'm like, excuse me, it's So yeah, I was
no, I
pretty much when I was
agree.
single. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I agree because again, we don't see a lot of representation of black love. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like positive ones. So definitely, it's not to say every other relationship is not valid. We just don't see ourselves enough. So
And I just want to add one last thing. I'm not trying to say like I'm against any race or I'm racist or whatever. Like for me, I feel like anybody can be a soulmate. I'm open to whatever. If my soulmate happens to be white, Chinese, Indian, I'm open to that. But just ideally, I just envisage my partner most likely being a black man, and I guess the universe just sort of like molded that into fruition.
yeah,
You know.
and just to again maybe wrap that part off is in a society that tells you to hate people who look like you, loving
Mm-hmm.
someone who looks like you is revolutionary. Do you know what I mean? It's how I see it. It's not to put any other race down. Like society, there's anti-blackness everywhere. So come on.
Even within ourselves, especially with black people who are made to hate each other. So you hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah. Okay, OnlyFans. They said I must ask you this one.
Oh boy, there we go.
And for the record, I had to subscribe, so I do want to hear from. Okay. What was did you? The question is, did you have OnlyFans before your story went viral?
I did, yes.
All right.
I did, yes. I created my OnlyFans in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I hadn't really promoted it like that. I hadn't really like because I wasn't really sure if I know not December. I think I created it like very early January. So I wasn't really sure like the direction I wanted to take. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I wasn't really sure like if it's a good idea. Like you create it, then you get cold feet. I think I created it and I didn't even post anything for like 2 weeks because I just wasn't sure what I wanted to because even though I'm somebody who's I'm very like body positive, I'm very like, I don't care what you have to say about me. I don't care about your opinions. Your opinions don't pay my bills. That's the mantra I live. But even at that, you still kind of, because there is always that, no matter what, there's still this stigma attached to it. Even though you're not posting pornography, you may be even posting your cookbooks, your recipes, your whatever. People will still, oh, she has an OnlyFans or he has an OnlyFans, he's a whore. So, but yeah, no, just to answer your question, yeah, I did create it before my viral story.
Right. And how has your confidence grown from then to having cold feet and now? I mean, here we
Now
are.
I'm really in there, but all up in there. But yeah, I think I got a little bit more comfortable, and obviously being very honest, when my situation was going crazy, I was like, you know what, let's monetize. like I'm just gonna be very honest, like let's monetize. So like. I mean, I had promoted it a little bit, but off, like not on my Instagram. Like I was using other, like Reddit and stuff. Do you know Reddit, the app, the website, and just different, like some Twitter. Like I was promoting it like on different places where I didn't really, maybe because my Instagram was very public, so I wasn't really sure. But when this thing was going viral, I was like, you know what? They're already looking at me as this gay witch or whatever I am, or this demon who's gonna get like, here's my OnlyFans. Now what? Yeah, like.
But that would come with this added layer of, I mean,
Yeah,
being gay is like bad enough, and then you're not telling them, come on. I can imagine, like, wow, this guy is crazy.
Exactly, and you know the African mentality, you know the things they'll be saying or thinking, But the thing is, like, I mean, if you did subscribe, you should know I'm actually not posting any explicit pornography. I'm posting sexual or sexy content, but there's no like full on explicit like nudity or frontal nudity. I think the worst thing I have on there is like some backside pictures. But the thing is, I do walk in ballroom. You know what ballroom is? So like, if anybody has been to a ball, they like walk, because I walk body, my catching is body. They probably see my ass anyway. Like that's on ballroom videos on the internet. So it's like that's already online. So
But also, listen, it's okay. Who knows what you'll be posting in the next 2 years, bro? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to post whatever you want to post. Do you see my point?
Exactly.
Right? Because there's a lot of stigma around OnlyFans. I have friends who, a lot of people lost their jobs, for example, like last year, right? Just taking as an example, and they had to go on OnlyFans. So would you shame for like that? People should be able to do what they want to do. Do you know what I mean?
Do what they want to do, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and yeah. Just add to that, like I said before, not everybody who is on OnlyFans, people need to realize that not everybody who has an OnlyFans is actually posting pornography or explicit nudity. Some people are not even posting anything of that nature. Yeah. I know some people who are posting their workout tips, their fitness training, whatever programs. Some people doing cookbooks, recipes. So that, I feel like that stigma needs to really die, because it's honestly it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm glad you were comfortable to discuss it on the show. So thank you. Mental health, right? I mean, you're a black gay man. Come on. That comes with trauma in itself. So, how have you been looking after mental? Because again, that's a topic we really don't talk about.
It's not long.
So yeah, how has it been for you?
I'm glad you said that. Within the black community, we tend not to discuss these kind of things when it comes to mental health, because I don't know. I feel like we think that mental health discussions means like you have a demon possessing you. I don't understand. This like religious superstitious culture.
Or it's a sin. Or it's a sin,
it's a sin, exactly. But me personally, it's definitely not been easy. I remember like one of my first ever, like my first struggles with this whole gay thing was, this was after like I realized I was sexually attracted to men when I was 16 or 15. And but I didn't do anything about it until I was 19. I spent a few of those years like having sex with women, trying to date women, and this and that. And even when I came out, some of those girls came back to me and were like, "Oh, was it all real or was it fake?" But the thing is, I can't really say it was fake, because I feel like even no matter what your sexuality is, you are capable of having an emotional attraction or relationship with some people, regardless of gender. I do believe that's possible. But yeah, so I remember when I got to the age of 19 and I realized like it's not going to change. I stopped forcing myself to have sex with girls. I remember I was praying to God for like 6 months that He should fix me. Like I was even like getting into like drug, well, not the hard drugs. I was getting into like weed and alcohol just to cope, because it's difficult, growing up in a certain way, because I grew up very hyper religious, and that can take its toll on you, every day, especially the ones who grew up in Africa or Nigeria, wherever, these kind of countries, where you're told every day what you are or who you are is wrong, it's demonic, you're going to go to hell, God killed you, keep saying Sodom and Gomorrah, God killed people for this and that, there's no way that you can avoid it. It will take its toll on you. That there's nobody. I mean, some people may be lucky to avoid that strife, but like most people will be affected by it. They may not realize it, and I feel like black people are the most affected by it because of the toxic masculinity culture we live in or we grew up in, especially as black men. So it was definitely hard. But honestly, I feel like, and this may be to do with my privilege, I feel like I was fortunate enough to be in a country where I could actually explore it. Because I remember the day I decided to like accept, okay, I am a gay man. I remember like I think I typed in Google, I was like, how do gay men dress? I saw gay men in tank tops, so I put on the tank top and I just went to a gay club, like for the first time, just to see what happened. So obviously I could never do that if I was living in Nigeria. So yeah, it was definitely difficult. It's been a long road. I can't even say like, I feel like I'm at a point where I'm pretty much okay with myself. I love who I am. Yeah, I'm proud of who I am. I display myself on my social media, my relationship, whatever. So, and it's honestly taken me a while to get here. Some people don't ever get to this stage. Some people like take it to the grave with them, their sexuality. So I'll say now I'm doing good, but it's definitely been a struggle. It's been a struggle. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, no, I agree. So do you have a support system? How do you cope? Do you access therapy, or do you have friends you just call? Of course, you got your partner, which
that helps, of course.
Yeah.
No, I never really had any kind of therapy or anything, but I think I've just always had very supportive friends. And I feel like when it comes to, if anybody who's queer is listening, you're struggling, I feel like what you should try to do, always try and maybe find like a safe space of supportive people who you can be yourself around, who would not judge you for who you are. Because what tends to happen is most people, especially most queer Black men, they want to try and fit into these heteronormative spaces, and by doing that, they have to sort of like suppress or hide these parts of them. And so that just compounds the shame you feel, the guilt, whatever, and it just leads you to being in the closet your whole life. But I feel like even if you want to be in the closet, I'm not going to judge anybody who is. That's fine. But just maybe try and find a safe space where you can actually express yourself. Because I feel like as humans, we need to express ourselves. Like you have to be yourself in life. You don't get one life to live. You can't live your life pretending. That's not a life. Like, I'm not even being judged. That's not life.
I agree, because the question is for how long. You know what I mean?
It's not life. Yeah.
Okay, last question. There's
Go
someone
ahead.
watching, and I think you kind of touched on that. Someone watching younger and they're struggling with their sexuality. Just as a lot of us did, right? What do you have to say to that person?
I would say, you know what, like honestly, just be yourself and like be true to yourself in this world. Because like I always say the same message when it comes to this. Like, you only get one life to live. You're not gonna get another one. You're not gonna get another one. You can't restart. You can't go back to the last chapter. You're not gonna get a do-over. And you don't want to spend like people have to understand how fortunate they are. So even have the chance to experience what life is. So you don't want to spend that short time on this earth like living a lie or being something you're not. I know that it's not this. Not everybody has the same scenario situation. But like just think about the fact that you one day you will grow old. You will grow much older. And you want to look back on your life and be like, yeah, I had a good life. I made my decisions. I was true to myself. I did what I wanted to do, not what society or family or friends or whoever projected on me to do. I was myself and I stayed true to myself. And that's how you actually die happy. You don't want to look back and like be bitter, like we'd be like, because one thing I realized about life, you regret most of the times. You don't regret what you did, you regret what you didn't do. You most likely you regret the chances you didn't take. Most of the times you regret, you like, even me at like 27, I can say I look back, there are a lot of things and opportunities I wish I took, like, and I regret. So like that's what honestly what kind of makes me live my life this way. Like I'm gonna take every kind of opportunity I have, because you never know what can happen. So yeah, just live your life, be true. Yeah, be true to who you are. Don't let anybody ever tell you, what you are is wrong, especially if that is who you are. As long as you're not harming anybody, just be yourself and live your life.
Well said. Well said. Thank you so much, Bolu. I
My
mean,
pleasure.
listen, we could go on and on.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure. I'm
this
sure.
has been inspiring. Thank you so much. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until I see you next time, keep living free, keep feeling free. Goodbye.
Bye.